Guys and girls, this is the video on how to convert between grams and moles. And so I'm going to do out in this video the first two problems that are on your worksheet from class today. The whole idea of a mole, remember, just as kind of an intro before we get started, it's our counting unit for chemistry. So counting unit for chemistry. Sort of like how a dozen is how we count eggs and donuts, we use moles for chemistry. The big important thing to remember for a mole is that 1 mole equals however many grams there are of that element on the periodic table. So however many grams in elements molar mass. And remember from last class, we can look up the molar mass for any element right here on our periodic table. So let me go through a couple examples and show how we would actually use this. And I'll try zoom in on this sheet so it's a little easier to make out. Okay. And so the first problem asks us, how many moles are in 15 grams of lithium? Okay. So we are given 15 grams of lithium, and we want to find out how many moles that is. So I'm going to label that X number of moles. And we're going to set this up just like a proportion and cross multiply. And I can look up how many grams are in 1 mole by looking on the periodic table. So I'm going to find lithium. And if you look at lithium's mass in the top right corner of this, it says 6.94. So what that means for lithium is that there are 6.94 grams in 1 mole. Okay, how do we solve this? Well, we cross multiply. So I'm going to have 15 times 1 equals X times 6.94. Now all I need to do is I need to get X by itself. And the way I do that, well, I divide both sides by 6.94. Now on this side, the 6.94's cancel. And so X equals 15 times 1 divided by 6.94. I'll put that in parentheses just to be consistent. And now I just need to calculate that. So 15 divided by 6.94 equals 2.16 moles. Okay, so in 15 grams of lithium, there are 2.16 moles. All right, number 2 is going to be very similar. They ask how many grams are in 2.4 moles of sulfur. So I'm going to set this up just like I set up the first one. This is number 2. And they tell me that they want to know how many grams are in 2.4 moles of sulfur. So I'm going to say there are X grams, because that's my unknown, in 2.4 moles. And then just like before, I'm going to look up how many grams are in 1 mole. So sulfur, when I find its mass on the periodic table, it says 32.06. So that means there are 32.06 grams in 1 mole. Just like before, now I need to cross multiply. And on this side, I have X times 1, which is really convenient. And on this side, I have 2.4 times 32.06. X times 1, I don't have to do anything with that. I just need to multiply these two. So X is going to equal 2.4 times 32.06. That comes out to 76.94. And that's 76.94 grams in 2.4 moles. So 76.94 grams is my answer. So there you have it. That's how to convert between grams and moles for any element. The whole key is just knowing that the periodic table tells us for any one of these elements how many grams are in 1 mole, and then we just set up a proportion and cross multiply to be able to convert between any amount of grams and moles.